بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. You can see what I'm doing? So with Ulum al-Quran, the next section is the ahruf of the Quran. Ahruf. This is a difficult topic, and I have been grappling with it for the last week, and inshallah when we grapple, then Allah will make it easy. Allah will inshallah make it easy. You know, when you read this section, one quote that really stood out for me was Imam al-Jazari, Muhammad ibn al-Jazari, I think, Imam Muhammad ibn al-Jazari, rahimahullah. He died in 832 Hijri. He says that I contemplated on this for 30 years. What does it mean by 7 ahruf? Sab'atu ahruf. 30 years. He's Qari, well-known scholar of Quran and everything. So this shows that we have to spend at least 30 hours on it. So we have to spend time. Alhamdulillah. So ahruf is the plural of harf, which we know means a few things in Arabic in the Quran. Harf means the letter. So every letter of the alphabet is a harf. It also means a fence, ala harf, a boundary, a fence. Ala harf, as the Quran mentions, fence, border, edge, brink. Is that in Surah Al? That's one. That means on the fence. But there's the other one in Surah Al Imran, when Allah Ta'ala mentions وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا
واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا وكنتم على ذوي حفرة من النار.
حفرة. That's حفرة, is it? Okay, that's not حرف. The other one is correct, you said. على حرف يحرفون كلمة عن مواضعه. They will change the letters or the words. Another meaning is to swerve or distort from the truth. So harf means to change, to change. All these things, linguistically, the meaning of the word harf. Sab'atu ahruf. This is in the hadith, mutawatir hadith. Hadith mutawatir. إن هذا القرآن أنزل على 7 أحرف. إن هذا القرآن أنزل على 7 أحرف. Indeed, the Quran has been revealed upon 7 ahruf. فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنْ. So therefore read from whatever is easy for you. This is in Sahih al-Bukhari, the book on the virtues of the Quran, mutawatir hadith. Strong. There are hadith as well, but you will find that the hadith in the book will talk about the Prophet ﷺ saying that Jibreel ﷺ, he came to me and he taught me the Quran in one harf. Ala harfin wahid, just one. And then I said to him, make it, this will be difficult for my ummah, make it easy, give me another harf. And then he kept asking until Quran was revealed upon the Prophet ﷺ upon 7 ahruf. Yeah? The whole discussion will go around what does it mean, harf, ahruf, what does it actually mean? So I'm just telling you the ahadith. The ahadith are there clearly, Sahih ahadith. And the whole objective was, as the Prophet said explicitly in the hadith, this is to make it easy for my ummah. So the reason for the ahruf, we can say without doubt, it is to make it easy for the ummah, to cause ease. Yeah. So when you read the discussion in Yasir Qadi's book, it's not that detailed, but in Taqi Usmani's book, very detailed, lot of detail. So I was grappling with that because there's a lot of things happening and you have to think and read it again. So when you look at it, these are the very strong evidences that will allow us to, inshallah, Allah willing, get to the best opinion, inshallah. Allah sab'at ahruf is the whole where we will gravitate. 7 ahruf, what does that mean, harf? So there is mentioned that there are 35 opinions, yeah, by Ibn Qutayba, but then Suyuti brought another 5, yes, to become 40. Now I was just listening to my Shaykh Hashim and he was mentioning other names and he said up to 41 opinions about what does ahruf mean in the ummah, yeah? Up to 41 opinions. What does ahruf mean? One interesting thing I think I listened to, I read, I'm not sure now, because I've listened to a few people and read a few things. Maybe Brother Hashim, yeah, Brother Hashim was saying it. He was saying that some people even went to say that this is from the mutashabihat, this concept of sab'atu ahruf, 7 ahruf, this is from the mutashabihat. We will not be able to understand it fully. Yeah? When we come to the section soon, where there are ayat mutashabih and ayat muhkam, we will look at that. But the principle is that we believe in it because we have an authentic source of knowledge to say this is hadith of Rasulullah ﷺ, and we believe that the Quran was revealed upon the Prophet ﷺ in these 7 ahruf, and he taught different Sahaba, different ahruf. Yes? Different Sahaba. So when you read the book, you will find the dispute between Umar radiallahu anhu and the other Sahabi, where he was about to hit him, or because he was saying, well, you're reading it wrong, incorrectly. And when they came to the Prophet ﷺ, and this has happened on a few occasions between different companions, that the Prophet ﷺ, he said, both of you are correct, because I taught him this harf, if you like, and this harf. And the difference was the wording. The words were different. And this leads us to, I'm just summarizing everything, then we will go through it. Yeah? This gives us good reason to believe and understand that ahruf here means therefore the lughat of Arabic. Lughat means the words that they actually use. Yes? Lughat is dictionary, if you like. Yes? I don't know what is the noun for dictionary. The dict is not dict, it's something else. No, that's one example of it. Yeah? Yeah, anyway. So we will look at examples.
Define.
Yeah?
No. Diction.
Diction maybe, yes. As long as it doesn't become addiction. Diction, yes. So there were 7 different dictions, if you like, yes, lughat of different tribes. This is quite strong. We will come to that, inshallah, opinion. Allahu alam, we can't say 100%, but it seems that. And then there's the other opinion that I came across by Taqi Usmani, Hafizahullah, where he has extensively researched it, because I read his whole, and he said this is a summary, and it's, I think, 50, 60 pages of it. And he has given many opinions. He has gone through all the opinions, and he has then stated why this is wrong or weak. He has quoted the previous scholars, etc. And then he has come to the conclusion, which I'm still grappling with my Shaykh. I was asking him just now. He replied to me. I asked him a day or two, but he responded me. He sent me an hour reply, 1 hour. Yeah, so I was, and the summary of that basically is what I've just told you, in addition to what we've read here. But the Taqi Usmani's conclusion is, and he says this seems to be the most authentic, because for every opinion there are opinions to counter the opinion as well. Yeah, weak, etc. Because of this weakness, this doesn't add up, that doesn't add up, etc. Taqi Usmani, he says that it seems like the strongest opinion is, in light of all the ahadith that we do know, yes, and other arguments, of course, goes into a lot of detail, is that the sab'atu ahruf refers to 7 categories of the qira'at. Yes. Now that doesn't mean that they are the same thing. So the qira'at, we will look at that later. Qira'at, isn't it? Plural, isn't it? So the 7 modes of recitation, as you know, yeah? Like we know Hafs, and there is Warsh, etc. Yeah? Taqi Usmani is saying that they are not the same. Ahruf and qira'at, they are not the same. But the qira'at, the differences in the qira'at, when you look at them, you find that there are 7 categories. When you look at all the qira'at, there are 7 categories in which you can categorize the differences in the qira'at, if you like. Yeah? So as an example, so don't quote me on this, but as an example, just to make it. So let's say that one of the qira'at, where it says there is a difference in, this word is the same, but the pronunciation is different. Yes? So, well, let me just finish this first. Then we can discuss that. So Malik and Malik, this is one category of difference. The word is the same, but the meaning slightly different, but it is different. Yeah. So this is one category of difference. Okay. So what's the third opinion you said? Yes, Qaziz, what's his?
Third opinion is that the 7 ahruf refer to 7 different ways that the verse can be changed. In other words, whenever a difference is found between these ahruf.
Yes.
So number 1 is changing wording into differences.
So this similar. You see, there's a lot of overlap. Similar, because he has given 7 here, yeah, and Taqi Usmani, he has given 7 as well, and there is overlap in those 7. And I was listening to another Sheikh, Adnan, I think, from Kuwait. He did a talk in Greenland. So I would ask you to do that. In fact, that's part of your homework. Listen to that talk, 7 ahruf of the Quran. It's in Greenland Mosque. It's quite brief, because he says in Arabic, and the Sheikh, I forgot his name, he's in Greenland, he translates it in English. He gave his explanation of 7 ahruf, which is very similar to this. Yeah, that for example, the word changes, but the meaning doesn't. There is ma'ruf and majhul. Anyway, or there is a taqdeem and ta'khir, which means that in the Quran a word in one place this word came then that, but in another ahruf swapped. Yeah. So he gives 7. So you read.
So is it that there's 7 differences in between?
There are 7
There's 7 categories.
categories.
Of
Yeah, yes. This is what Taqi Usmani is saying. There are 7 categories. So if you look at all the qira'at and you start to analyze, you would be able to categorize all the differences into 7 categories, distinct categories.
So, like you're saying, one would be the pronunciation is different.
Yeah.
So that would be the category for pronunciation.
Yeah. So this is what he's saying. It seems this is the strongest opinion. Wallahu alam. But the ahruf are, we have evidence that this is tawqifi. We know that these are authentic from the Prophet ﷺ, because when you study it, inshallah, in the book, Jibreel alayhi salam, when he came in the last revision, if you like, of Quran, when they recited it twice in the last Ramadan. So in this revision, yes, this was all encompassing of all the 7 ahruf. And Uthman radiallahu anhu, when he compiled the Quran, as we have studied already, yes, he took into consideration this, and therefore there was no what we call nuqat, the dots, and there were no vowels, harakat, to allow this to be encompassed. And furthermore, there is two opinions I've come across. Some say 5, some say 7. That Uthman, they wrote 7 mushaf. Yes, with these slight variances, because this all of it together, it preserves the Quran and the 7 ahruf. This is where I have got to now by reading all this, trying to simplify it and think about it. Okay.
Is so the difference between qira'at and ahruf, is it
that we will come to, because I have to now look at now that I know more about ahruf, I now need to study qira'at more analytically now. That what does it actually mean, qira'at? Yeah, and to be able to then see. So if, for example, the opinion of Taqi Usmani seems correct or strongest, then we might be able to see that, all right, this does match up, that the qira'at are different, and they are all mutawatir as well, yeah, but the categories, there are 7 of them in terms of differences. We will have to look at that when we look at that qira'at, inshallah. So this has been, alhamdulillah, very worthwhile, because otherwise you never think of these things properly. Yeah. So the book then mentions opinions that have no basis. So it's good to know this. Yeah, there are opinions that have no basis. There are 3 of them. First is that these are the 7 different categories of text, which means they talk about the text being. I'm going to use some words, then I'll explain them. Yeah, nasikh or mansukh. So this is one category of text, meaning these are those ayat which are abrogated. So that's one. They're saying that these are the categories of ahruf, which is not correct opinion. Another is whether it is literal or metaphorical. So that's another category. Is it general or specific? Is it muqayyad or mutlaq, which means that is it open-ended or is it very closed? And this is not a strong opinion. Yeah, they have no basis to say this is just some ijtihad, which has no real basis from Quran and Hadith. This is just an opinion. And the other one is, according to the Sufis, that these are 7 levels of knowledge. Yeah, which has no basis. Then it says 7 branches of knowledge. For example, Tawheed is one branch, Shirk is another branch, yeah, etc. So this again, no basis. This is just I mean, anybody, we could read the Quran and say, all right, seven what? All right, let me think of what 7 things it might be. Yeah? Then it could, I mean, it wouldn't be wrong to say there are 7, if there are 7, but that doesn't mean that that refers to the ahruf. So these are without any basis there. Then he says there are some with basis, apparent basis. He mentions the different pronunciation of words. So this is one. Then the second one is the same as the first one, which is 7 different categories of text. Third one is a different types of ayat. So some are muhkam mutashabih, one category. Halal haram, one. Warnings and promises, another. Commands and prohibitions, another. So again, people have said that, oh, these are the 7 ahruf, but not strong. And the fourth opinion here, which has some apparent basis, is that these 7 ahruf are the 7 qira'at. Yeah, but this is not correct. So these are some of the weak. First 3 without any basis, these 3 weak, if you like, 4 weak. And then he says some strong evidence to suggest 3 opinions. Number 1, that this 7 ahruf refers to the 7 lughat. Yes, lughat meaning what did you say? Diction. Diction, because different tribes would use different words for the same word. Yeah, same meaning, if you like. Yeah, so this is one opinion. Then there are 7 lahjat. I still need to clarify what's the difference between lughat and lahjat, because in the translation sometimes it gets confusing. So here it says ways of recitation, lahjat. And what does that actually mean? I'm not sure yet. So lughat and lahjat. And then the third one is that there are 7 different ways in which the ayat can be changed. Yes, so the 7 differences. Now this, as you pointed out, this seems to refer to what Taqi Usmani is saying, that there are 7 different ways or categories in which the ayat change, which therefore the qiraat are different. Allahu alam. Seems like they're the same thing. So he gives examples in the book. He gives 7 examples. He gives the change of the word. Yeah, a word is changed. So kal'ihin al-manfusha becomes kasawf or kasuf. So the word changes, the meaning is the same, synonym. Kal'ihin kasuf. So there's a change of the word. The second one he says is a change or difference in a letter or the word. So the very obvious example is Malik or Malik. Yeah, Malik or Malik. Malik means king. Malik means owner. There is a difference. Yeah, Malik or Malik. There is a change in the order. This is called taqdeem or ta'khir. Taqdeem or ta'khir. It means to change the order of something. Something that was first, you bring it last, and that which was last, you change it to the first. Yeah. So we'll give you an example. Very simple. وَقَاتَلُوا وَقُتِلُوا. Yeah. Yeah. قَاتَلُوا وَقَاتَلُوا قَاتَلُوا وَقُتِلُوا. قُتِلُوا. قَاتَلُوا وَقُتِلُوا means they kill or they are killed in one harf. But in another harf swapped. Qutilu, I'll write it in different color. Qutilu, so the fatha becomes kasra, dhamma, and the dhamma here becomes fatha. You see, swapped. Yeah? Qatalu wa qutilu, or qutilu wa qatalu. The same is with the yuqatiluna wa yuqtalun, and or the other way around. Yeah, so there is taqdeem wa ta'khir, there is switching, if you like, change in the word order. Is it clear? That's okay. The other one is, let me change back to the color. The other is that an addition of a harf or a word, yeah? Addition or subtraction of a word or a letter. So example given here is فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ الْغَنِيُّ الْحَمِيدُ. Yes, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ, if we have the, I think, let me go to the ayah 57:27. 57:27. Fifty-seven, 27. 27, 57, maybe. Let me see. 57. Okay, no, I've got the wrong reference. Let me write it for you. So it is فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ, yes, Al-Hamid, Al-Ghani, Al-Hamid, and the addition is Huwa. So Huwa is added. It's another type of ahruf or harf. Yes, that in one recitation there is فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ الْغَنِيُّ الْحَمِيدُ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الْغَنِيُّ الْحَمِيدُ. That's 4. Let's take the next one. 5th one is the form or the word structure in grammar. Basically, a singular or singular might have been either a singular or a dual or a plural. Yeah, a word. So difference is there. And the reference here 23:8. Let's see if that's correct reference or not. 23:8. Yeah. لِأَمَانَاتِهِمْ. لِأَمَانَات. So if you say amanat, it means their trusts, plural. If we say لِأَمَانَتِهِمْ, it means their trust, singular. Yeah? Amanat or amanat. So difference there. Then the next one is it says difference in inflection. Inflection. So what does that mean? Let's see this with an example. Difference in the inflection point. I think where you emphasize وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلَّى. وَاتَّخِذُوا now وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلَّى. This is ayah Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 125. Now, وَاتَّخِذُوا, if you say that, yes, it means that you must take the maqam Ibrahim. This is a fi'l amr, is called command. Yeah? But if you just say wa attakhidhu, yeah, they took the place. So there's difference. Okay, whether it is it depends where you will stop or where you will join or not. And the last one here is difference in pronouncing the words. Yes, pronunciation, and this is tajweed, really. Pronunciation, which is right. Pronounce the words. So they say lessening the hamza, yeah, so you don't stretch it that much. Or, you know, like we say, majreha, there's another recitation, isn't it?
طاهر. طاهر.
Okay.
طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن
تشقى. Okay. A different pronunciation. Yeah, so this becomes a part of it. But it's where it gets quite involved is that when you listen to that talk by that sheikh, he will give you 7 different things. There'll be overlap. Yeah, then he gives 7 other things that he thinks they are the Sabah Ahruf referred to. So that's why.
What were 1 and 2? I think.
The one is the opinions.
Yeah, I mean.
Or the 7, these 7.
Yeah.
Number 1 was you change the word. The word changes from kal ihn to kasuf. The change of word. So kal ihn al manfush in Surah Al-Qari'ah, yeah? Kasuf al manfush means more or less the same. Ihn and suf means wool, yeah? Type thing. Synonyms, if you like. Number 2 was that difference in the wording or letter. So Malik and Malik. But the main thing is that you appreciate that Allah Ta'ala, He preserved all this. There is no issue. All preserved. And then, in fact, this adds to the challenge of the Quran. That bring Quran like this. Yes, with Sab'a Ahruf. So, this is, alhamdulillah, a benefit. Okay, moving on. He says that the first 2 opinions that we mentioned are stronger. The lughat, the dictions, and the lahja, the way of recitation, are different. He says that's stronger than the 3rd, which we've looked at, this one. So according to Yafir Qadi's saying, and let's just read, I have a note here, if we read the top of page 179, what is that? Page 179. What is it?
Therefore, it is concluded that the 7 ahruf represent variations based upon, but not limited to, the most fluent Arab tribes of that time. These variations occurred in words, letters, and pronunciations, such that all these variations made it easier for the companions to memorize the Quran. These variations did not always reach 7 different ways of recitation for each verse, but whenever such variations existed, the different ways of recitation never exceeded 7.
So that's in his conclusion. Okay, fine. I'm going to move on now to Taqi Usmani, what he says. He says opinion number 1 is that the ahruf is the same of qira'at. And he said this is not correct. Yeah? I mean, he doesn't say, he brings the evidences from the scholars to say. Yeah, did you catch that? So first opinion that he mentioned in his book is that the ahruf actually is the same, refers to the qira'at, which is not correct.
He said that.
Yeah.
That was his first point. Ahruf is the qira'at.
So what he's done, he has given opinions, and then he has explained where this came from and what the scholars have said, why this is weak.
Wait, so he was saying that the ahruf is not the qira'at.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Yes. So this first opinion is, some people have said that ahruf means qira'at, but he has said no, this is weak, and he gives the reasons. Number two, the ahruf, it doesn't mean 7, because 7 here, some people say that 7 actually is used by the Arabs to refer to large quantity. Yes? Okay? So, if, for example, if it's our culture to say, I will give you 7 something, that means I'll give you loads or something. You get it? Yeah? So like in the ahadith that mentioned that you would get 10 to 70 rewards. Yeah? So it means many rewards, not just limited. So their opinion is that the 7 doesn't refer to specifically just 7. It's not limited to 7. It means more. It means a lot. But this is not correct either, because the ahadith that mention, like we said, the hadith where the Prophet asked Jibreel alayhi salam once, then for second harf, and then he stopped at 7, which means that 7 is a specific number. It's not just, it doesn't refer to large quantity. Yeah? So he then says, kasrat, this is not correct either. He then mentions that this third opinion is the 7 lughat of Arab tribes. And then he gives evidence to say maybe that's not correct either, or that's not as strong. Yes, the 7 lughat, which according to Yasir Qadi, it is probably the strongest. Yeah, the 7 dictions, if you like, of the different tribes. Okay. And then he summarizes. I'll read you his summary points, 5 summary points. Yeah, his summary of all the discussion in the book. Then in the end, he summarizes. Number 1, the 7 ahruf were asked for by the Prophet ﷺ to make it easy for all the readers. So he highlights the objective and the purpose of the 7 ahruf. That the objective of these were, as the hadith mentions, to make it easy, sahal, make it easy for the ummah, for the old people, the ladies, the children, everybody, the villager, the etc., to make it easy for them to read the Quran. He says it seems that the 7 ahruf refer to the 7 categories of differences in the qira'at. So I've mentioned that already, haven't I? That's his point, yeah? That the 7 ahruf refer to these 7. There are 7 different categories of difference in the qira'at. Yeah? Okay, I'm going to read you what I've written now. It's a bit long, but just bear with me. He says, initially, the difference in the qira'at, the ahruf, was regarding use of synonyms, as you said, yeah? Same meaning, but different words. But as the Arabs became more familiar with the Quranic language, yeah, this type of difference decreased up to the time of the last recitation, which is called Arda Akhira. Arda Akhira, which means to present, the last presentation, if you like, in which the Prophet presented the Quran and Jibreel listened, and they did this twice, or the Prophet with Jibreel, these differences were then minimized in the last one. And the only differences that remained were of, now Sigha is, like we said, Qatala ya qutilu. Qatala, he killed, qutilu, he was killed. Okay? Or whether it is feminine or masculine, or if it is singular or plural. Okay? Only these differences remained. This is his third point. Fourth point, he says, all remaining differences, meaning the ahruf, were preserved by Uthman radiallahu anhu, by not having the harakat, vowels, or the nuqat, the dots. And Uthman, according to him, he says this in his book, that there are 7 mushafs which he produced. While we studied in Yasir Qadi's book, he said 5, yeah? 7 mushafs which differed in these areas, but as a whole, they preserved all the 7 ahruf. And then he says that Uthman, his collection of the compilation of the Quran is different to that of Abu Bakr, because he not only compiled it, but he put it in order, yes, surah order, and he made sure that the 7 ahruf were also preserved. This, he mentioned that. And then he says the 7 types of differences, which is the 7 ahruf, yes, which means it refers to the 7 categories of differences in the qira'at. They are, and I will write this out for you. They are, number 1, difference in singular or plural. Yes. So he gives the example, very simple. Kalimatun or kalimatun. Yes. Kalimatun or kalimatun. So now this, you can say kalimatun or kalimatun. Can be one or many. He gives the example of, it could be masculine or feminine, mudhakkar muannath. Yuqbalu or tuqbalu. Yuqbalu, or it could be tuqbalu, which is masculine, feminine, sorry. First is masculine, second is feminine. Tuqbalu is feminine. Then he says there is the third category of the differences is the reason for the change of the a'rab, change of the ending. I'll give you example ready to. So, ikhtilaf in the wujuh, ikhtilaf i'rab. Let me just write that for you. Wujuh, ikhtilaf in the a'rab. Arab means the endings, yeah? So, ghayrullahi or ghayrillahi. Ghayrullahi, ghayrullahi, or it is ghayrillahi. So there's difference now. For the grammatical difference, yeah? The difference is there, yeah? Ghayrullah or ghayrillah. And then in Sarf, he gives the example of ya'rishun or yu'rishun. Ya'rishun or yu'rishun. Ya'rishun or same word yu'rishun. So one is we know as ma'ruf and one is majhul, which means one is we know the doer, the other is the doer is not explicitly known. Yeah. But then there is a nahw, which is also grammatical. He mentions lakinna shayatina, or same word, but if you change it from lakinna to lakin, because lakinna is emphasis, which changes the shaitanu to shaitana. Let me write it here. So if you look at this, lakin, yes, lakin, okay. If you go lakin, okay, it becomes lakin shayatinu, lakin shayatinu. But if you read lakin as lakinna, yeah, this shayatinu becomes shayatina. That is the grammar. Because this inna, it makes the thing after it mansub. It means from shaitanu, it becomes shaitana. From the doer, it becomes the one that is receiving the action, if you like. Okay. And so this is number 5. 6. Number 6 is change of the harf. Change of the harf, which means ta'lamun or ya'lamun. Yeah. So if you say this is ta, it means you know. But if you say this is ya, then it means they know. Okay. So the nukat not being there, you can see that, yeah? That without nukta, you can say that it's ta'lamun or you can say ya'lamun. So this is another difference. Changing of the harf. And the last one is the pronunciation. And he talks really about the recitation, really, pronouncing and the recitation. So there is a mad, whether you are going to extend the or you will do tafkhim or takhfif. If you will make something light or heavy, you will make something idhar or ikhfa. You will pronounce it or you will not pronounce it completely. It's a tajweed. And whether you will join idgham or you will read separately. Yes. So these are the 7 that he has listed in his book, Taqi Uthmani. Allah knows best what is the right opinion. May Allah give us the best understanding. Ameen. So this still is a journey. We are trying to understand this. Sab'atu ahrufin. Alhamdulillah. And let me just pause this and see what my Sheikh has just said. He responded to my question about